Hello and welcome to the top 20 best cards in old school according to statistics. So a quick note, even though this video is about some tournament results, still there's lots of cards and just playing whatever you find the most fun is always the best way to play. So this video is all about the tournament results of the X-Point monthly tournaments. This is an awesome format. You can find out more information on my channel or links below. And a huge shout out to Loki, Rich Shea and Raymond Mitchell for giving me this data. So firstly, a surprising thing, there was no power at all in this top 20. None. I was really surprised by that. And I was also really surprised that there wasn't really any in the top 40. There was only one and it was much lower down in the 30s and it was Time Walk. I really thought Ancestral Recall and some of the wheels would be much higher here, but no, apparently not. So also that brings us to understanding the data, because this data was not collected by just adding up the total number of cards in the top 16 decks every month. Instead, they looked at the number of cards played in round 1 and then the percentage of those that made it to the top 16. So my way of understanding this is if you have a 1 in 100 chance of, coming in the top 16, and then you have a card that gives you plus 100%, well, that will take it from, a 1 in 100 to a 2 in 100. So this kind of data will skew away from cards like Lightning Bolt and Swords to Plowshares that see play in almost every deck, because of course not all of those decks can make the top 16, therefore bringing down the overall percentage of the card. It also skews more towards cards that are not really played that much, but tended to perform really, really well. If I had included the top 25, then all of these cards would have made the list. So coming in 20th place with a plus 18% are the Circle of Protections. I've done them both together. The red one was slightly higher, but I just thought it's easier to do them together. Of course, there's lots of Lightning Bolts in the tournament, so this one makes total sense. In 19th place with an asterisk. So the asterisk means that not actually that many people played this card, but those that did really well with it. I mean, 4 damage divided any way you choose is a really strong effect, so I'm not really that surprised to see this card doing well, because its effect is really, really strong. In 18th place, again with an asterisk, because this one's really expensive in money terms, so probably not that many people actually can play it, but the effect is so strong, it's super strong, and yeah, I'm not really surprised to see Abyss in this list. So in 17th, Giant Growth. I absolutely love this card, I love the art, it's really strong, it can swing combat math in your favour, you can use it to punch through extra damage. Sometimes it's kind of likened to the green Lightning Bolts, of course it's not that good, but awesome card. In 16th, Guardian Beast. Now this has an asterisk because not that many people played this card, but those that did really well with it. There's lots of crazy synergies like Chaos Orb destroying all their stuff, or Aeleopile as a recurring shock effect. Awesome. And again in 15th place, ARGRIVIAN Archaeologist, exact same thing. You can use this one to bring back Triskelions, you can use it to bring back discs. There's just so many ways to abuse this, but of course not that many people played it, but those that did really well with it. And in 14th place, SAVANNAH Lions. This is the quintessential white beatdown card. It's just so efficient, 1 mana for a 2 power thing. It's just, yeah, I mean, it's just a classic, the art's classic, nothing not to love about this card, it's awesome. In 13th place, and this one should have an asterisk, is MOAT. So the reason it should have an asterisk is because in some metagames it was super dominant and super strong, like creature heavy ones, but then in others like burn heavy or control heavy, it was really underwhelming. However, the overall average was high enough to give it 13th in our list. So in 12th place, KIRD Ape. Yeah, I love this card. A lot of people love this card. A lot of people play KIRD Ape, so it really goes to show how strong it is that it's made it to 12th in our list. And 1 mana 2/3, it's really strong, so not surprised to see it here. And in 11th place with an asterisk is Spitting Slug. This card is an absolute house against aggro decks. I was very surprised because this one, in some tournaments it performed really well, but then in some other tournaments it didn't perform that well at all, which was very surprising to me. And in 10th place, this one also really surprised me, is the Rack. A lot of people complain about Black Vice, saying Black Vice is really good, but it turns out it was actually the Rack that was way more powerful. So not that many people actually played the Rack, but those that did really well with it. So yeah, it's 10th in our list. And in 9th place, my absolute favourite card in the list, Falling Star. I love everything about it. It's so fun. It just really makes the game so much more exciting, and I love the art. Super strong effect, kind of like a one-sided Wrath of God sometimes. It taps down their stuff if it doesn't kill it. Yeah, I really think we should be seeing more of this card actually. I think it's really underplayed. And in 8th place, Order of LEITBUR. Yeah, this card is awesome. 2-1 for 2 mana, already decent. Protection from black, okay, that's pretty relevant. But you can give it first strike and you can pump it when you start to mana flood out. Yeah, this card is really strong. And coming in 7th place, ARGOTHIAN PIXIES. Also has great stats for 2 mana and the pseudo protection from artifacts. They can still target it, but they can't block it or deal damage to it. So yeah, great card. I'm really not surprised that people playing this did well. And in 6th place, Preacher. This card is an absolute powerhouse. I'm really not surprised to see it so high in our list. You know, especially giving white the ability to take creatures where they can actually punish you for not having blockers. It's so strong, especially in white. And it's really not a surprise at all that decks playing this have performed really well, especially in a more creature-based format like Exploits. In 5th place, this one did actually catch me by surprise. It's a really good card. I just wasn't expecting to see it so high up. So this is Dust to Dust. You know, of course, Disenchant is good, but double Disenchant is even better. And it also exiles stuff, which is good against Guardian Beast or Archaeologist. So yeah. And in 4th place, it looks like I forgot to change the name at the bottom, but this is Elvish Archers. You know, a 2 mana 2/1 first striker is absolutely great. So I'm really not surprised to see this one do well. I am a little surprised it's in 4th place, but you know, it's a really strong card, so there you go. 3rd place, this one completely caught me by surprise. I never thought I would see SCRYB sprites this high up. The number of decks doing really well that played SCRYB sprites was really actually a lot. So yeah, a 1 mana 1/1 green flying man, turns out it's really strong. So in 2nd place, ICATIAN Javelineers. Now this card is super strong, but I was still really surprised to see it in 2nd place. I'm not sure why. You know, this card is so good, and the ability to deal 1 damage in white, that cannot be understated. You know, with all the first strike effects going on, and especially if you have them in multiples, you can start taking down a lot of creatures. There's already a lot of stuff with 1 toughness that this will kill on its own. If you combine it with red for lightning bolt, you know, then you can start taking out Serra Angels or Serendipifreets. Yeah, I'm really not surprised that decks playing this card performed really well. It's a really strong card, and yeah, I think it's definitely deserved its number 2 slot here. So in 1st place, the dreaded Workshop. This card is insanely powerful, and you know, it just ramps stuff out super quickly. It's super strong. I don't think there's really anything to say about this. It's just a really good card. So let me know down below, were there any cards you were surprised about? Was there anything in there that you expected to see but didn't? Otherwise, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and bye bye.